Hey, good afternoon, gents. It's a wonderful Tuesday. Behind me, you'll see the Moore B18. One day I'll hook it up and see if it runs. Got a lot to show today. It's a bit of a toy haul. When I say toys, it means much different than some of you, but hey, apologize if I'm interrupting your viewing of Mama's Family. That's what's on the shop TV right now. Before we get started, this is probably the most hittingest drink there is. It's the Waterloo Lemon Lime. Trying to stay off the beers. This is an excellent replacement. Crisp and refreshing. You do get lemon and lime. Second thing, got a little package opening here from one of my favorite e-tailers, Bolt Depot. Unlocking it with the Benchmade mini bug out. I'm a Benchmade fanboy, I do admit. Paperwork. Small bolts, 10 millimeter. So I don't use a lot of metric fasteners. That's just not the world I live in. But one thing about Bolt Depot is they package everything nicely. Zip top bag, it's not all greasy. A couple of 10 millimeter bolts, a couple of longer, slightly 10 millimeter bolts. Because it's always helpful to have a 10 millimeter around. And these are 12 millimeter nuts, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with this pair of nuts at the end of this video. It's really quite exciting, and it looks like that's it. That's the great thing about Bolt Depot is you can order whatever quantities you want. You can order one washer from Bolt Depot. So went over to a buddy of mine's house. He's a very dear friend, one of my former co-workers. He's retired now. And you always got to carry $100 bill to this guy's house because he's almost certainly going to try to sell you something. He's a bit of a horse trader. I like that. It just so happened that he had an entire display set up of toolmaker made tools. And for those of you that are unaware, when you're in a machine shop, making jigs and fixtures is just kind of a part of life. This is a toolmaker made riser block right here. You can't really see the details, but I'm just saying this toolmaker made stuff is everywhere. So I'm going to kind of run through these just to show you what it was. So I bought the whole lot. I said, okay, just tell me how much you want. And he made me a racehorse deal. This is a great sort of a beginner project for those of you that are going to do some surface grinding. This just holds a little diamond wheel dresser, and you know, to be honest, it's kind of scuffed up. I don't know if this thing's flat or not. I would probably regrind this before I used it, but it's just a wheel dresser. So at the end of the day, I don't know that it matters. Along those same lines, there was this massive wheel dresser here. And this looks like something to put a radius on your wheel. You can see this is spot finished. Some people call this engine turning. I think there's a more accurate French word for what that is, but this is all toolmaker made. He's got some locking rings and some dowel pin stops. So this stops hard right there, and when you roll it over, it stops hard on the other side. I don't know what I would ever use this for, but it sure is an amazing piece, and it's all, you know, precision ground. It's got some age on it, so it would need to be checked, you know, for accuracy. I believe this is called a planer gauge, but I don't know that. If that's what this is, I don't really have any use for it, but I thought it was just absolutely beautifully made. And as you can see, the individual has stamped his name. I'm sorry, it's on this side. Let's see. It says Cantrell right there. And it's got a little locking knob here. And I mean, the action on this is just so smooth. I mean, he really did just a bang up job on this. I'm assuming that he made all of these because they've all got his name stamped. The next thing on the list, this is sort of an ordinary man's sign bar, I believe. Again, it's all ground. I would need, maybe this is an angle block. I really don't know what this is. I would need to check it for accuracy, but again, he stamped his name, and this is the old style way right here to mill a little pocket in there so that you can identify it. Really, I like that his name is in here. I wish there was a mark on the other side that had the year. That's sort of like a unwritten rule that when you make something like this, especially if this is heat treated, I'm expecting most of this to be heat treated, but boy, wouldn't it be neat to see the year? I mean, this might be 1995, this might be 1965, we don't know. Then we got a couple of little angle plates, little angle blocks. I think these, man, you talk about, I'm just addicted to these. He's even got a little notch cut down in there so he could side wheel, you know, these walls. And once again, we got a name, Cantrell, same guy, Mr. Cantrell. You've done a wonderful job, absolutely wonderful. And there's a little V right there, just fantastic. So if you wanted to use that step for something, alignment or whatever. And we got kind of a bigger angle plate, and I really like this design. Somebody got into it with an end mill. That's unfortunate, but it happens. You know, we've all done it. This does not have his name on it, but it is almost certainly made by the same guy. If I just had to, I mean, that's just conjecture, but just a beautiful job. And I mean, some of you may be saying, why would you want all this junk? I don't have the answer to that question, but I do know that whenever I see this toolmaker made stuff, I don't care about Chinese made, foreign made junk. I'm talking about something that somebody has spent time to create. This little piece right here is you know, it's not, you know, it needs some love. It's got a little bit of patina on it, but that's fine. I'm not sure if this was made from a casting or a kit, because, you know, it's got a little locking mechanism in the bottom, and you can see that it rides on these little notches down in there. And this little set of notches is bolted on. And I don't know if you used to be able to buy a kit that included that, or if that was part of the machining, but they're radiused on the top. It just looks like a bought product, but this looks made, and it's got a different individual's name on it, a Paul Bader. And this almost looks like a trade school project, but it's very well done. I think it's a fantastic job. I've always wanted a little secondary vise like this. Matter of fact, I had it in my never-ending list of things to do to make one of these. I'm going to need to check it for accuracy, but it is certainly something that I can work with. This piece right here is pretty amazing. It's a really nice sign plate. I don't know what the distance is between centers there. I'm going to guess it's 6 inches, but it may be bigger. But just a fantastic, and this again is Mr. Cantrell made this. And this was bought at an auction, I believe. But this is a toolmaker made item. I've always wanted one of these, but I could never really justify buying one. And you can see it's got a fantastic grid of screw holes, and it is really tight. It actuates really tightly. It probably needs to be kissed on the grinder, but you know, that's just something for a rainy day. And probably, of this lot, probably the thing that caught my eye first was this riser block. And I'm still trying to deduce whether or not this was milled out of a solid block. I tend to think it was. I cannot tell. It's painted on the inside as it should be. And I cannot tell if it's cast that way and then just finished. I cannot tell, but boy, it looks like there's mill marks in there, because a lot of times, I mean, those could be, so there's like little mismatches down in the bottom, as you would expect. And I cannot tell if that is from the cores, or if that of a casting, for instance, or if that is from, you know, just a mismatch of machining. If somebody hogged all that out. But boy, if they hog that out, I mean, that's at least a 6 inch by, I'm just going to guess and say, you know, nominally 3 inch block. And it's got an array of holes on one side and a flat surface on the other. Got a couple of auxiliary holes on the end. And I just thought, man, this is a fantastic piece right here. So I snagged all of it. I snagged all of it for a reasonable price and wanted to share it with you. We're at 10 minutes. That's way too long. You guys keep doing what you're doing. We'll talk to you later.